The first item I'm going to share with you all is the Playboy Playmate calendar from 1959. I got this on eBay for $8, which is a really good price. I was not expecting to get it as cheap as I did, but hey, win some, lose some, right? In this case, it was a win. Now, I'm not going to show you all the pages just yet because, as you all know, what Playboy is famous for, nudity and risque pictures of beautiful women. And I don't want to impede on the video if you have your kids watching with you, so I'm going to go ahead and share the calendar at the very end of this segment, so that way if you guys want to see the actual pinup images, you can send your kids away for just a few minutes. I'll try to make it as quickly as possible, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. So the very first item I'd like to share with you all came from eBay. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen this really awesome tray. This is promoting Cecil B. DeMille's picture, The Greatest Show on Earth, starring Colonel Wilde, Emmett Kelly, Dorothy Lamour, and Charlton Heston. Now, I've seen this twice in two different antique shops in Pennsylvania. The first person wanted $50, the second person wanted $75. I really liked the tray. I wasn't about to spend that much on it. So I went ahead, looked on eBay to see if I could find any cheap, and lo and behold, I did. I paid $18.50 for it. And I love it. Don't you? I love the different details. I like the circus imagery. I just think it's really, really cool. I found yet another Majolica Della Robbia Baby Jesus plate. I only paid $15 for this one. And I think I'm going to ask about $100 and see what people are willing to offer me for it. Now, as you can see, it does have some paint loss due to age. I'm sure this was hanging up in a garden, maybe, or maybe it was in somebody's house. I don't know. Now, it does look like it is cracked right here, but I think that's just part of the piece because I don't see any other issues like that on it. But as I mentioned before, there are some places where the pieces of fruit are missing paint, but that's normal due to age. Like I said, I might list this for about $100 and see what people are willing to purchase it for. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this really awesome piece that I picked up at an antique mall. This is a Royal Hager mermaid statue. She was at this antique mall the last time I was there, and I thought the person who was selling it was absolutely crazy for asking 38 bucks. But upon doing research, I did find out that she came with a console bowl, and the person who had it sold it for $95. So I felt that just having the statue alone for $38 was well worth it, because I think I can probably ask maybe $80 if I were to sell her. I did buy a few other items to resell to help pay this off. You will see it later on in the video. But I thought she was super cool, and you all know my bedroom is beachy. And with what I purchased to resell, she's gonna be paid off in no time. So let me go ahead and show you all the bottom of her. So this is the bottom. It's got a gold stamp for Hager, and then it's got Hager stamped into the piece itself, and I guess that's 655 K and USA. But how stinking cool is she? For some odd reason, I think I'm starting to get into some of the Hollywood Regency stuff because this is definitely, you know, fitting to that era. Now, when she was made, I have no idea. I contacted the seller who had this exact same one with the console bowl, and I asked, hey, was this part of a two-piece set? And he had said yes, because he specialized in Royal Hager pottery. Or he specializes in Royal Hager pottery. And I told him I had found this one, and that there was no bowl, but I think that was part of the decorative piece of the day. I'm very happy that I got her, even though she was $38. But like I said, she'll be paid off with the items that I've purchased to resell. She sits on my nightstand. Let me go ahead and show that to you real quick, and you tell me what you think. So So this is where I have her placed, right next to my fish lamp. I think she looks awesome here. Don't you? I mean, she fits in perfectly with the theme of my room, and I'm really glad that I picked her up, even if she was 38 bucks. Now that you've seen some of the rather larger items, let's go ahead and jump into the smaller items. To start, I was at one of the Goodwills down in a town that's about a half-hour's drive from where I am located, and I found this hippopotamus thing, and I knew immediately when I saw it that it is a dresser caddy. You put your rings here, wallet goes in here, you could put change or whatever else you'd like in here. I only paid 99 cents for it. It's got an original price tag for a young men's shop, and it was only $1, so I only paid a penny less than what someone originally paid many years ago. Now, it does have some condition issues, like we've got some minor chips right here, but overall, I still think it is definitely worth reselling because dresser caddies, depending on the subject matter and depending on the figure, can be worth some money. There's one that's out there that's very, very common. I think it's of a wiener dog, and it's got 2 yellow baskets on the side of him. That one doesn't sell for a whole lot of money. Some of the rarer ones with different colors can do pretty well. I had a whale or a dolphin a few years ago that I only paid a couple dollars for, maybe even less than that, and I sold it for $30. So dresser caddies, while some people can misinterpret them as planters, can do pretty well. I think I might ask, $20 or $25 for the hippo. Now this was a really good pickup. I know for some weird reason, let me adjust the camera here. The Mary Mushroom thing is coming back. And the reason I know this one is Mary Mushroom is because it has the Japan stamp on the very bottom of the clock. There's nowhere on it to indicate that it was made by Sears and Roebuck, but if it has Japan on it, I assume that that is from the Sears and Roebuck company. I paid $2.99 for this, and I'm going to be asking around $30 for it. The only problem with it is that the clock piece, the clock mechanism, has been replaced and is probably going to need to be replaced again. You can go to any craft shop and get these, and I'm sure with a coupon someone will have no problem fixing this buddy up and getting it back into working order. I am going to put a battery in it and test it just to make sure that this mechanism works, and maybe someone will just be able to buy some new hands and we'll go from there. There's no cracks or chips, there's no crazing on it that I'm aware of, so it's in very good shape for its age. And remember, if you see anything that you are interested in that I mention is for sale, the link to my eBay shop will be down below in the description box. So moving right along here, we've got this vintage, new old stock Gemblems Masonic license plate topper. I paid $2.50 for it. I don't see any of them on eBay with the original card, let alone the exact same one. For some reason, it was sitting at the bottom of a basket with a bunch of other things, and for some odd reason, I was just drawn to it. Maybe it was the packaging on it, I'm not sure, but yeah, new condition, never been used. I think I'm gonna end up selling that for about 20 bucks, $25. And that'll be an easy shipper too. So I picked this up at a Goodwill. They were 99 cents for the pair, so 50 cents each. It's a set of Bartlett Collins salt and pepper shakers. Overall, in really good shape. The paint on them is really nice. Nothing's scratched off or faded. The only problem is the top shaker is cracked, so somebody is going to need to find a replacement for that. I think I might be able to get maybe 12 to 15 for the pair. Now this was a really good score on my part. This came from an antique mall. I'm sorry if I'm going out of order here. I don't really remember exactly when some of this stuff was bought, but doing the best I can here. So I picked this up. This was $4.95. It's made by Jeanette. It's Delphite Blue. And upon doing research, one did sell for $99 with the lid. However, other ones were not selling for upwards of $75, and I think That one was listed twice and didn't sell. I think what I'm going to do is, because somebody is going to need to find a lid to put on this, I might go ahead and ask 50 to 60 for it, and I'll see what offers I get from there. From the same place that I bought the paprika shaker, how awesome is this? This is a Starburst ceramic lighter. I did have to clean it up a little bit because there was lots of like gunky stuff around this metal part here, and there was like gunk all over the lighter part with all the gems and the stars. Like this right here, for example. I haven't gotten that off, or hadn't had success getting that off, so I might have to clean that a little bit better. But this was also $4.95, marked Japan. Mid-century, you know, I'm very, very much in love with, so when I saw this, for as cheap as it was for an antique mall, I said, yeah, I'm definitely going to jump on this. And this wouldn't come up all the way, so I basically just moistened the little striker starter here. And it didn't flip up all the way, but after I did that, it flipped up no problem. I did do research just to see how much this was going for, and someone did sell it for $28. I think if I were going to sell it, I would ask about $30 and ask first class shipping, because it's not going to cost an arm and a leg to ship something like this. But that's for me because I love mid-century. For $2.99, I got this blue glass elephant. No markings on him to indicate where he was made, but he did come in this box for the Corning Glass Center. Whether this is from there or not is beyond me. I'm not exactly sure, but I really liked the color of him, and I think he's just going to wind up going in my jar of small stuff. I didn't think $3 was too much to ask for that. Now, you all know I talk about buying the vintage tiki mugs to sell because people are always out there looking for them. Orchids of Hawaii, Japan is the bottom you want to look for. If you see Taiwan or China, not the best ones to pick up in my opinion, unless you're just going to use them for yourself. So I paid $2.50 for this. I'm looking to get about $15 for it. And it's in good shape, not cracked or chipped. Got some salt and pepper shakers to share with you. These were, I think, 15% off because I paid with a card. It's just this dog and cat. These are very common. I've seen them before. I think they're marked made in the US. They're made by... Let me get the focus for you guys. Let's see if I can read it. F&P... Mold and Oil Works in Dayton, Ohio. So these were, again, $3.50 and 15% off. I just liked them. I have a black cat, as you all know, and she looks exactly like this. She's got the white all around her, white on the tips of her paws, and she's got a little bit of white on the bottom of her there. But I've seen these before, and people do try to ask a lot for them. They're not worth a whole lot of money on eBay, but I was glad to find a set for cheap because I've kind of been wanting this set. Now this was a really good pickup. I've seen a lot of antique mall vendors ask upwards of about $15 for these. They are candy containers made by Rosebro. And I don't mind buying them damaged because to me that just shows they were loved. As you can see, the hat is all chipped around here, but it looks like he's got a cap that's just turned to the side, kind of like a 90s styled thing. But he's got his glasses, which is a good thing. I think he was $4 and 20% off, I think, so I only paid about $3.20 for him. He's got what I believe is supposed to be an umbrella here, and I think that is also broken off here. Or maybe I'm wrong. No, I don't think... No, this was intact. I was really happy about that. So that's going to go with all of my vintage Christmassy stuff. So I guess it was either glued to something at one point, or I don't know. But yeah, definitely was worth picking up. Now I do want to let you know, I have also bought other things that are going to be resold, that are not vintage, that are not going to be featured in this video, so it's not like I completely wasted my money. Now these were interesting, and these were bought before I explained that whole I had an epiphany thing. So that most of this stuff was bought before I had that experience and that sudden realization. So these were $2.50 and 15% off. They are vintage fish salt and pepper shakers, full-bodied fish. I think I might be able to get 12 to 15 for just this set here. No cracks or chips. They have the original corks. Doesn't say Japan or anything on them, but again, I think these are going to be an easy seller. No problem. Last larger item I'd like to share with you all is this vintage Vernon Ware coffee carafe. I only paid $4 for it. Now this was bought after I had my sudden realization of great truth. It doesn't have a Bakelite top, but it is all ceramic. The only little flaw on here is that little chippy at the spout. And yes, I like to call all the chips and stuff on a broken piece of ceramic a chippy, because that's just fun to say. Yeah, it's got a little chippy right there. But I don't think that's really going to affect the value too much, because you can't even really see it. Well, actually, I take that back. Yes, you can see it, but it's still a good display piece. I think even in the condition it sits in, I think I could still ask about 20 or 25 bucks for it. Now, here is the bottom. Underglaze hand-painted organdie Vernon Ware, California, United States. I still think I can make some pretty good money on that. So now that you've seen all the hard goods, let's go ahead and jump into the pay-per ephemera. I almost forgot about this last item that I picked up. So I got this on eBay as well. It was $1.99. It's the 1959 Lesney Matchbox Lipton's Tea cart. I thought it was really, really cool. The way I knew that this was an original as opposed to the 1988 reproduction is right here. Doesn't have a glare right there. It says made in England by Lesney. And I think that's a serial number right there. The original, this is what the original looks like. If this was the reproduction, it would say Matchbox 1988, probably Taiwan or China. But what really drew me to it were the different ads that were on it. So you've got a King's Cross company. You've got ads for, let me get that to focus for you. Horlicks malted milk, Heinz pickles, and I may have to pull the camera away so I can read that other ad for you. I don't even think I can read that. That's so small. I can't even read that. Yeah, that's really small. I can't even make that out. Sorry. Piccadilly Circus. Around it is a staircase. And on the back here, we've got Sanita's Fluid, Disinfectant, and Coleman's Mustard. This originally was supposed to have a set of horses to go with it. If you all remember from a previous haul video, I picked up a bunch of vintage Matchbox cars that were worth some pretty decent money that I still have yet to list. So those are going to be up very, very soon, and one of the carts came with horses, which I will eventually need to pick up. Since I got this one so cheap, I might be able to find just the horses online pretty cheap as well. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put it into my jar of small items, and I will just enjoy looking at it from afar in a jar. Sorry, I just went Dr. Seuss on y'all. So these are the 4 picture/postcards that I picked up. Normally I don't really go for the Edwardian styled stuff because it's a little bit more feminine and girly. But for some reason I was really drawn to these. There was just something about them that just said, buy me. So we'll start off with this one here. This is just a photograph. It says 42 on it, so I assume this is probably for a 1942 Packard. The only reason I think that that's what this car is I was recently watching reruns of the 90s cartoon Hey Arnold. If you all are familiar with that show, whether you have kids that watched it or if you watch it yourself. I think that's what Steely Phil drives. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is one of the 2 Edwardian postcards that I picked up. Just very different, very indicative of that time period. It has a postage stamp on it for 1909, and it has a made in Austria stamp on it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, what do you all think? Was that definitely worth picking up for $2? So here's the one that's encased in plastic. It says, "The Navy, will you be true to me?" It says copyright 1909, and I believe it says IH in Conwell, New York. So I thought that was really interesting. Now, the last postcard was the most unusual. It's a guy who's got a cigarette in his mouth, and the smoke is, of course, coming out of the cigarette. And the cloud of smoke has a woman's face in it, and I believe that that is his girlfriend or his wife that he's thinking about as he's smoking the cigarette, and this must be a ring of some sort. Definitely unusual and definitely different. I would say this is probably from the teens, or possibly late turn of the century. But I thought that was kind of different. I mean, what do you think? I've never seen anything like that before. That's also a postcard. Unfortunately, the date is smudged, so I can't see exactly when this is from, but it's definitely got some age to it. What do you all think? I did manage to pick up some more pinup arcade cards. These three up here, I think, cost me about $4.88, if I'm not mistaken. This one's my favorite of the bunch here, because it's depicting a girl that is dressed in the period of the late 1920s or early 1930s. I would definitely say that if she were on the beach wearing that outfit, she would definitely catch the attention of law enforcement because she's showing way too much of her legs. But I really liked that because that definitely screams flapper girl, roaring 20s. This one's a bit more naughty because, as you can see, she is wearing nothing and is covering her chest and the other part of her with just a hat. So if she took the hat away, there'd be nothing on her. This one, a girl is covered in silk and is wearing high heels. I believe she's got nothing on and has got her hand covering up her chest along with that other silk piece. Now, the last one I did pay $3 for, but it was free shipping, so I didn't think that was too much of a bad price. So this is an Earl Carroll Vanity Girl. I like the different shades of color that they added to it as opposed to the black and white. Got the orange and the blue. Very pretty, dainty girl dressed in that really awesome outfit with a really nice curvaceous figure, beautiful face, and nice colored hair. For $5.99 or $3 a piece, I grabbed these really interesting 49 pamphlets. I guess they were from a show, kind of some little thing that you'd get when you first walked in to like a club or something like that. And when you unfold them, and this is what the inside looks like. As I said before, they are copyrighted 1949. Here's a close-up of the one girl. Wine, Women, and Words was this program. This one is also Wine, Women, and Words. I definitely like the background of a strip of, I don't know if that's Vegas or what that is, but that's, or where that is, but that is just really, really cool. I would have loved to have gone and seen something like this back in the day if I lived at that time. So that's those. For 25 cents a piece, I picked up 2 vintage paper trick-or-treat bags. Both have the same image, and one is just larger than the other. The camera doesn't really do it justice, and you don't get to see the really deep orange color that these are. They're better looking off camera. But I thought they were neat, and you could definitely frame them, or you could just hold on to them and use them as part of your decoration, like if you want to hang them up on the wall or something. But I'm going to go ahead and hold on to these. I think they'd be a great little addition to my vintage collection of Halloween stuff. The holiday season is over, but I bought this before it came. This is a December 1962 teen screen magazine, and on the cover is the beautiful Annette Funicello. Probably she was around, no, she was 20 years old when this was published. She was born in October of 42, so this is December of 62, so she could have been 19 when she posed for it, and then she was 20 when it came out. So I really liked that. I would either put that out on a coffee table, or I would probably put it in a floating frame and hang it up at Christmas time. Now there's one thing that's in this magazine that really kind of makes me mad, and I know all of these magazines and stuff that's out there with the media even today are full of nothing but a bunch of BS, and they flat out lie just to get money and attention, which to me is wrong. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you the just a little segment here that kind of really made me a little mad when I read it. So this is from a segment of this magazine called You Asked. And of course this is pop singer Ricky Nelson. Rick dying of cancer, question mark. The kid was barely in his 20s. He was 22 when this was published. Why would you even say something like that? I don't care how old or how young somebody is. You don't put that in a magazine. Even for the Times. I don't care. You don't do that. Everybody just wants to, I don't know, I call it public humiliation. That's just messed up. We treat celebrities like they're these aliens from another planet, like they don't do normal things. Not to rant too much, but the other day I was on the internet, and it was saying like, ooh, big celebrity names love the bargains of TJ Maxx and HomeGoods. I'm like, everybody does. It doesn't matter. Who cares? People just drive me crazy. I mean, they're humans too. They just happen to be in the spotlight more and, you know, attract more attention. But even still, saying that a 22-year-old is dying of cancer, not to say that it doesn't happen, but I think he was in pretty good health at this point. I thought that was a little insane, and that was stupid. Let me show you the quote-unquote pinup of this magazine to get away from the negativity of what I just ranted about. So Paul Anka was the teen sweetheart or something like that of this magazine's publishing. I think he was born in 1940. So that's the front cover of that, and here's the, I guess what girl could hang up in her bedroom back in the day. I know he had kids really young, like early 60s into the mid 60s and late 60s. I know that one of his daughters, I think her name is Amanda, she's married to Jason Bateman, I think. And they have 2 girls. I could be wrong though. But yeah, that's just the kind of stuff that's in that magazine. Again, I thought it was kind of cool. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen this really awesome Peep Show magazine. I picked this up on eBay for $10, and I went to Walmart and picked up one of those 8x10 frames. You can pop the glass out, put your item in there, and have it securely pressed in to the frame and keep whatever it is that you want to display in perfect shape. So this is for June of 1956. The main reason I picked it up was because of the beautiful blonde Jane Mansfield. She was about 22, 23 years old at the time of this publishing. I think she was 23. Yeah, if it was June of 56, yeah, she was 23 years old. I plan on hanging this up in my room, possibly with the other one that I picked up online with Dolores Donlin on the front of it. What I really, really liked about this magazine when I looked through it, there is a photo of a beautiful girl doing pinup, and she's wearing a shirt that was highly risque for the time. And when I first saw it, I had to laugh at it because when you look at it, it's something that you would see in the juniors department at Marshall's. And the only reason I know that is because I've sold many of them since I've worked there. It's basically, I think they call them a crop top. You have sleeves that kind of just, you slide them down to the shoulder. It's just kind of like a very open neckline, just a little bit of cleavage showing. And that was considered risque for the 50s, but now you see teenage girls and young girls wearing that, and that's just casual dress nowadays. Back then, that was a very controversial piece of clothing. I had to laugh at it, like I said, when I saw it, because you see girls wearing that stuff nowadays, and it's just casual, comfortable wear. It's not anything to be ashamed of, like it was in those days. Okay, so we are now going to go ahead and take a look at the 1959 Playboy Playmate calendar. Ladies, if you are interested in seeing this calendar, I am going to be placing a sticky note over the parts that are considered naughty, so it's not going to be too offensive for the viewers. So if you see a sticky note, that means there is some exposure. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is January. Not too risque. There's no nudity in this one. Definitely very festive for the new year. So this is February. There's lots of pink in there, and as you can see, this was probably taken in a studio apartment because you can see city buildings. Very festive for Valentine's Day. So this is for March, the same as the front cover of the magazine. She's holding a flower to help indicate, or help the viewer indicate that it is the start of springtime. This is April. It looks like she is taking down a see-through skirt. Open shirt, breasts are pushed to the side, so I didn't feel that was necessary to censor. So this is May. This isn't as controversial. She's basically got her hands crossed and covering her chest, but it was still a little risque, so I went ahead and covered that up. She's sitting in what looks to be in front of a pool, so I guess she's letting us all know that summer is on the way. Let's see if I can adjust that here. Very pretty redhead for June. She kind of looks like Rita Hayworth almost. Nothing too risque, just a little cleavage there. Possibly my favorite month, July, which features Jane Mansfield. She's completely nude, with just a towel covering her you-know-what. So this one is for August. Looks like she's trying to say, still enjoy the warm summer fun and stay cool. This one's not risque at all. This is for summer, or for September, sorry. And the only risque thing about this is she's showing her legs. So this is for October. Very pretty girl. You can see kind of the nipular area, so I went ahead and censored that one. So this is for October. So this is for November. She is wearing some see-through panties that basically just have a thong on, so I went ahead and censored that because that's a little bit naughty and I don't want to share that. The final month of December is basically featuring a very pretty blonde girl wearing a see-through gown. Of course, that's why I have it censored, because you can see the chest. But yeah, that is the 1959 Playboy Playmate calendar. So let's go ahead and conclude this video. So that's all I have for you today. Be sure and give this video a big thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell next to the subscribe button if you'd like to know when new videos are posted. All the links to my social media accounts via Instagram are down below as well, where you will see pictures of items to come in future haul videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye guys!